The morning started quiet, just that soft, golden kind of silence that only happens before the day wakes up. I stepped out of the house, coffee in one hand, boots crunching on the gravel drive, and I could already smell it. Dry wheat and dust hanging in the air. It's harvest day. The sun was barely over the trees, just enough light to paint the barns orange. I walked across the yard, past the bins and the old pickup that's been almost fixed for 3 years. Everything looked still, but you could feel it. That kind of stillness that means something big's about to happen. The tractor was waiting inside the barn, like a sleeping giant. I climbed up into the seat, flipped the key, and that diesel growl filled the air. There's something about that sound. It's part machine, part memory. I eased it into reverse, backed up slow, lined the hitch under the grain trailer, and felt that solid clunk when it locked in. Always a satisfying moment, like the day's first handshake. Rolling out toward the field, the gravel popped under the tyres and I could see the harvester sitting there at the edge of the wheat, its auger arm stretched out, glinting in the sunlight, waiting like it knew the plan. As I drove, the wheat waved in the breeze, heads heavy with grain, every stalk ready to drop. All the work that started months ago, the planting, the spraying, the waiting, it all comes down to this. By the time I pulled up beside the combine, the air was full of that familiar hum of machinery and anticipation. It's the sound of long hours, full trailers, and a little bit of pride that somehow makes all the dust worth it. Parked, dropped it in neutral, and took a second before stepping out. This is the part that never gets old, the moment before the harvest begins. Everything's lined up, engines are warm, and for just a second, the whole farm feels alive.
I park the tractor at the edge of the field, hop out and make my way toward the Massey combine. The air's already warm and you can smell the wheat dust hanging low over the rows. It's time to get this harvest rolling. I climb up into the cab, hit the ignition and the combine rumbles to life. That low diesel hum is something you feel more than you hear. It shakes the whole cab like it's reminding you what kind of machine you're sitting in. I run through the quick checks, fuel, hydraulics, auger position, then drop the header and ease it into the first pass. The reel starts turning, the blades start cutting, and that steady flow of grain begins moving up through the machine. There's nothing quite like watching those first rows disappear behind you. Hours turn into minutes, passes back and forth, lines getting straighter each time. The sun climbs high, dust clouds drift across the frame, and the hopper slowly fills with a golden mountain of oats. Eventually, the monitor starts beeping, telling me I'm full. I pull up at the end of the row, lift the header, and throttle back. That's the signal. Time to call in the grain trailer. The engine idles down, the field goes quiet again, and for a moment you just sit there, watching the sun hit that full hopper of grain. It's a good sight. Time to unload and do it all over again.
I climb back into the tractor and head out into the field, pulling the grain trailer behind me. The combine's sitting halfway down the row, auger already swung out and waiting. I ease up beside it, keeping the tyres just inside the stubble line. The two engines idle together for a second, then the grain starts pouring out. You can hear it, that steady rush of oats hitting the trailer, like rain on a tin roof, only heavier. The trailer starts to rise inch by inch as the harvester's hopper empties. For a few moments, everything's in rhythm, the combine unloading, the tractor holding steady, both of them working as one. Then the flow slows to a trickle. The auger empties out, and I pull ahead. The combine swings the boom back in, drops the header, and gets right back to cutting. I look back at the trailer, full load, shining in the sun, and head off toward the silo.
I swing the rig around and head back down the same track I came in on. The trailer now light and empty again. The path's already packed down from the earlier runs, just a mix of dust, stubble, and ruts that lead straight back to the edge of the field. The engine hums steady, the sun's a little higher now, and you can smell the warm grain dust hanging in the air. Pull up beside the barn, drop it in neutral, and park the tractor right where it started this morning. For a second, it feels like the job's caught up. Everything in its place, trailers empty, field half done. But out across the rows, I can see the combine's auger swing out again. That hopper's full already. No time to sit down. It's back in the seat, back down the lane and right back to work. Harvest days don't wait for anyone.
I climb back into the tractor and head down the field again, dust kicking up behind me. The combine's waiting at the end of its row, auger out and ready to unload. I pull up underneath, line the trailer right under the boom, and idle there while the grain starts pouring in. The sound's the same every time, like a heavy waterfall of oats hammering down on steel. The pile builds quick, higher and higher until it's level with the top rails. I keep watching the sides, making sure it doesn't spill over, but it's packed full right to the edge. The combine finally empties out, and I ease the tractor forward, give a quick wave and throttle up. This load's headed straight for the silo. The field fades behind me in the mirrors, the trailer bouncing just a little under the weight. It's filled to the max, and now it's time to make the run back and get it unloaded before the next hopper fills.
I take the tractor out of the field and back onto the dirt road. The trailer loaded heavy and swaying just a little on every bump. The sun's sitting higher now, that mid-morning light cutting through the dust hanging behind me. It's a good feeling, seeing a full trailer after a morning's work. The road winds past the tree line and into the yard, the kind of path you could probably drive blindfolded if you had to. I ease up near the silo, throttle down and line up for the unload. Everything looks right, the auger pit's clear, trailer's square, and I'm ready to dump. I flip the first lever, then the second, watching the hydraulic arms start to move. But the second I hear that wrong creak, I realize it, wrong lever. Instead of tilting to the side like it should, the whole trailer starts to tip straight back. There's that half second of denial where you think maybe it'll stop. But nope, the back gate swings open and the oats just pour out in a wave straight onto the ground. I just sit there for a moment, hands still on the controls, watching half the load spread across the dirt like a giant golden carpet. It's one of those moments where you don't even get mad right away. You just stare at it, thinking, well, that's not going back in by itself. I lower the trailer back down, kill the hydraulics, and step out. Every sound in the yard's quiet, except for the soft trickle of a few last oats sliding down the tailgate. So, now instead of being done with this load, I've just given myself a brand new job, shoveling my mistake back where it belongs. Sometimes harvest days run smooth, and sometimes they remind you who's really in charge.
I stand there for a minute, just looking at the mess. The oats are spread across the yard like a tan carpet, piled up against the tyres, little grain still rolling down the slope. It's quiet, almost too quiet, like the whole farm's taking a second to laugh at me. All right then, no point staring at it, time to fix it. Then it's a short walk across the yard to the other side of the barn, where the loader tractor's sitting. It's old, but it starts like it's been waiting for this exact moment. The engine coughs to life, and I hook up the front bucket. It always feels like gearing up for clean-up duty. You're not proud, but at least you've got the right tool for the job. I ease over to the spill, drop the bucket low and start scooping. The oats push together easy enough, but every bucketful feels like a reminder. Next time, check the lever twice. Load after load, I drive back and forth, raising the bucket, dumping each scoop right where it was supposed to go in the first place, into the silo pit. The sound of it pouring in is different now, less satisfying, more like payback. It takes a few passes, but slowly the ground clears up. Just dust left where the pile used to be. I back away, kill the throttle, and let the engine idle down. For a second, I just sit there. The job's done, the yard's clean again, and the only thing left behind is the memory of a lesson learnt the hard way. I park the tractor back where I found it, shut it off, and step down. Harvest keeps moving one way or another, and sometimes you just have to clean up a little before you get back to it. I climb back into the tractor, give it a second to warm up, and ease it into gear. The bucket tractor's parked, the yard's clean, and it's time to get back to the real job. Rolling through the yard, everything's a little quieter now. The air's still thick with dust from earlier, and the sunlight's hitting just right, turning it all into a golden haze. I make the turn past the bins, down the dirt lane and out toward the open field again. You can see the combine from a distance, the auger already swung out, waiting like it never missed a beat. It's full again. Harvest doesn't stop just because you had a small disaster back at the silo. As I get closer, the hum of that Massey starts to fill the air. I line the tractor up alongside it, matching its pace, tires crunching through the stubble. The auger starts pouring out another steady stream of grain, thick, golden, and heavy. I keep the rig straight and steady, watching the oats climb higher in the trailer. It's one of those quiet moments where everything just works the way it's supposed to. No rush, no drama, just machines doing their job. The combine's hopper finally empties out. The auger folds back in, and I pull ahead a few feet. The engine note drops low, that steady hum fading into the sound of the wind moving across the field. Another full trailer, another trip waiting to happen. Days like this, you realize that farming's just one long rhythm of fixing, hauling, dumping, and doing it again. You mess up, you clean up, and then you go right back to it. Because out here, the only direction is forward, and the harvest doesn't wait for anyone.
The combine makes its last turn at the far end of the field, the header cutting through the final strip of standing oats. The field's quiet now. No rush, no pressure, just the low hum of the machine finishing what's left. You can see the line of stubble behind it stretching clean and even, row after row of work done right. I see the tractor at the edge, waiting. It's that kind of wait where you're not in a hurry, just watching the end of something that's taken all day to build. The sun's starting to drop lower, that soft orange glow settling across the field, and every dust cloud looks like it's hanging in slow motion. The combine reaches the end, lifts the header and idles down. The auger swings out automatically, it knows the routine by now. I pull forward, line up the tractor and trailer beside it, and ease to a stop. The auger roars to life one more time, pouring out the last of the grain. You can hear it echoing off the trailer walls, the steady rush of oats sliding down the steel sides. It's always a good sound, the sound that means you're done here. The harvest there idles for a second longer, then I ease forward, pull away, and glance back. The field looks bare now, harvested, quiet, finished. I throttle down and drive it slow across the field, cutting diagonally toward the yard. The tyres press flat into the stubble, leaving tracks that will fade with the next rain. The drive back's unhurried, just the steady rattle of the engine, the wind slipping through the cracks in the cab, and that feeling you only get when something's come full circle. The barn comes into view at the edge of the yard, doors already open and waiting. I pull up, swing it around, and back it inside. The echo of the diesel fades as I shut it off, leaving only the sound of metal ticking as it cools. That's the last time it will run today. The Massey sits in the half light, dust settling on the hood, the smell of straw and oil filling the air. There's always something satisfying about that. Machines resting after a good day's work. I step down from the cab and head back across the yard toward the tractor. The light's softer now, shadows long, everything bathed in gold. Climb in, fire it up, and roll out toward the silo. The trailer's heavy, the tyres creaking over the gravel, but the hard part's over. Pulling up next to the silo, I take my time lining up this time. After earlier's little accident, I make sure every lever's right where it needs to be. I set the trailer, ease the hydraulics, and watch the grain slide cleanly into the pit. It's a steady stream, no spills, no surprises, just the way it should go.
When the last of it's out, I lower the trailer, pull ahead and back it into its spot under the roof. The yard's quiet again, the sun just about gone, the soft orange band left on the horizon. I shut everything down, the tractor idling to silence, the hydraulics hissing one last time, and step down. The air's cooler now, and the smell of cut grain lingers like the last reminder of the day. For a moment, I just stand there. The field's done, the trailer's parked, the machines are all back home. It's not a big victory, but it's the kind that feels right, the kind that comes from finishing what you started. Another harvest wrapped up, another field cleared. Tomorrow, it'll all start again somewhere else, but for tonight, this job's done.